Hey guys, how we doing? So this is something some of you suggested a while ago. Don't know what to expect. I imagine this is going to be swag, basically telling people to stop pooping all over Obito because he's a cool dude, he's a cool character, plenty of development, helped progress the story, had a lot to do with Kakashi, had all that other stuff going on. I don't know. Yeah, I liked Obito. I think he's cool. So guys, can you please just, leave Obito alone? Anyway, let's get into this. This is Swag Kage's. Leave Obito alone. Let me just ring. There we go. Boom. Oh cool, he's got someone else on him.
Thank you for having me on once again, Swag. Your voice sounds a little different today. I hope you're doing okay, but thanks for having me on.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about somebody that I really like. I think it gets a lot of flack. The
so
title
cool.
should sort of tell you where I'm going with this. I
Leave
think a lot of people give Obito a pretty bad rap, and that he doesn't really deserve it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, he's a great person, a real stand-up human being.
Oh no.
The community type deal.
A lot of people.
Because, I mean, like, he kills a lot of people, and it's pretty fucked up, and, like, it's really not necessary of him. Should probably have a little bit of an attitude adjustment. But, there's one thing that people throw at him a lot that he doesn't really deserve, and it's this whole pedophile thing,
What?
Like, just straight, like, Basher-verse type situation.
Oh my lord. It's,
What?
It's a bit insane. So, like, I made this Madara video recently, and one of the fucking comments was like, yeah, the reason I prefer Madara over Obito is because he's not a pedophile. And it's like, oh wait,
what?
This isn't a meme. People actually think that Obito is a fucking full-blown pedophile, and the fact that we have to defend this is absolutely insane.
Like, you'd think that if he was actually, like, really fucking into children, that he would have been like, oh,
what?
Hey there, Sakura Haruno. Hey there, Hinata Hyuga. Why don't you get... Well, actually, 16's age of consent in Japan, so never mind. This analogy doesn't work.
No, part one. He could have just met them during part one. He could have came to the village and just did that.
You know what? No, we don't even need to
What?
Go Here's the thing. Orochimaru...
This is the thing.
That's his cat.
Tell his cat to shut up.
This will go on the second channel, but fucking edit this shit out of the main video. You take a look at Orochimaru, clearly pedophile, mental illness, some shit going on there.
Jesus.
A little bit fucked. Obito doesn't exhibit the same sort of behavior, he just misses his childhood crush.
Yeah, Rin.
And it's like,
is that the thing? Is that why people think that?
Like, today, if she was
That's
alive
so messed
today,
up.
Okay? It's not that outlandish, it's not that weird, and it's not even like he's still in love with Rin. I mean, granted, it's still like, he's like, oh yeah, I get to go to heaven and be with Rin, but it's like, well, I mean, in the afterlife, she's like an adult, isn't she? Like, at the very least, she's
at least in that clip, he's reverted back to a child.
No, but anyway, even then, it's like, I think the only reason he misses Rin so much is just because he associates her with a better time in his life.
Yeah, definitely.
His body crush
before that boulder just destroyed his life.
Before he was murdering people. Just back when he was a member of the Leaf.
Before his life was less chili crushed.
Life was good. That's what I think she means to him. It's not like, oh yeah, I really want to suck her pussy lips. That's why I've got to...
Damn.
The way you slapped your lips then, it was just like that was so bad. But yeah, it's pretty insane because you got to keep in mind this dude was the black sheep of the Uchiha, so he had it worse off than Naruto at the start. Like, not only
he had it worse off than Naruto. He was a child soldier employed in World War III.
So he was
deployed,
that,
not
he was
employed.
he was in just a second. He was an outcast who, not just any group, but the fucking Uchiha, who were just naturally God's gift to mankind.
Right. It seems like we're
what they are, and yeah, the dude had nothing. Like, he was as bad as Naruto in terms of training and learning techniques and so on. Kakashi just shit on him in every aspect, and then yeah, the one girl that he cares about, or the one individual he cares about, other than his sensei and Kakashi to an extent, she gets killed right in front of him.
Yeah,
He's
bad.
just lost half his body. Yeah, and it's like, it's the same
It's his
deal
best
with the
friend
whole
that
love
did it.
stuff. Like, I still can't believe we have to defend him. I'm not going to go into that, but it really blows me away how much people don't understand how certain effects in life take effect on the individual later on in life. Like, the reason Obito was so fucked up is because his life was dog shit, especially when
Yeah.
he'd lost all of
Had a lot happen to him when he was younger.
barely even able to move other than because of,
You go through all that stuff
He's-
and see how you
gets
turn out.
stabbed, and now people are calling him a pedophile because he's saying that he misses that time in his life, like you just said, where things were actually pretty decent,
That's messed
where
up.
she existed. He's not looking back as an adult and thinking, "Damn, I want to fuck that 12-year-old."
No.
It's nothing like that at all. It's really not, and I don't understand because there was no indication that there was anything to do with sexual arousal. That
No.
was the reason why he went to war. He just
Oh, yeah, could you imagine?
He literally says to Kakashi, if you think this war is about Rin, you're a fucking idiot. So I don't really get how much more clear cut that can be.
Alright, so in the last couple of chapters when Obito is saying goodbye to Kakashi and vice versa, isn't the projection of Obito as a child with Rin? So it's like,
Yeah,
obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
that's what is being implied here. I don't see the relation, the whole pedophile shit, it's insane. On top of that, it's like people are calling him just
It's an emotional thing, not a physical thing.
like a crybaby, and he started a war over a girl. Like, you know, not only did he imply that's not why it happened, it can be argued that it was. Like, it's obviously a bit of projection.
One of the
with having
factors.
to bring her up every fucking second sentence. Like, there definitely is a lot. The war has a lot to do with her, but it also has a lot to do with the fact that Madara did twist his mind into doing all these events and
Yeah.
being a fucked up
The
individual.
only person he starts fucking talking about Rin to is Kakashi anyway. It's
Yeah,
not
'cause
like
that
he's sitting
means
there
something to
talking
Kakashi.
Konan or fucking Kisame. Like, dude, man, I really just fucked what happened to Rin, dude. I really need to get her back. Like, the only person he mentions her to is Kakashi. And it's like, obviously he's pissed off that Kakashi let Rin die. You
Yeah.
know, he's just sort of I don't even think that he's like really pissed at him for it. Obito just strikes me as a bit of like a fucking jokester and a dickhead. You know, he was just sort of sitting there like trolling Kakashi, like, you know, by the way, you're a little piece of shit because you let Rin die. Remember how you promised you wouldn't do that? Like, he was
But-
just fucking with him, dude.
Yeah, he was
knew
trying to
it
mess
would
with
get
his
to
head.
him, and it was something that Kakashi had repressed for a little while. You know, Obito definitely has a fucking sense of humor, and a dark one at that. Like, I mean, he created the whole Toby persona, which is just
Yeah.
like a meme in itself. And then like
Which was
there's
weird.
this one part in the war where he's like fucking he goes and asks for like the whatever, like the gourd holding that Kinkaku and Ginkaku are sealed in, and he just like asks, I think it's Darui, he's like, hey, can I have this? I promise I'll give it back. I just needed to complete the Tintin. Like, I'm just gonna borrow it real fast, and you can have it back. No worries. And it's like, this dude just fucking memes around. So when he brought up, you know, you let Rin die, at first anyway, I think it was just to be like, yeah, Kakashi,
You dick.
fuck you. And, you know, he was just sort of trying to get to his buddy. Afterwards, it was a little bit absurd because he sort of started, I mean, he sort of kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
But like I said, the only person he ever mentioned it to was Kakashi. You know, I mean, he's sort of.
I think it's a mix. It's a mix.
Go ahead.
It's a mix of things. It's a mix of things because you said in a previous video, and I agreed with you, was that he definitely has like a personality disorder, and he's definitely borderline schizophrenic. That's for sure. That's how he's ended up because of all the events he's been through. The whole humorous thing. Yeah, I think every character has that. Like Madara had it when he was like laughing when Hashirama told him to wait. Like that's that.
Yeah.
But it seemed a little bit too specific with Kakashi because he did fuck around with Kakashi on purpose. Like, he obviously...
I think, yeah, he was trying to play mind games with him.
Because of the Rin stuff, and that's why he's bringing it up. But, yeah, look, if the war isn't full-blown about her, there definitely is part of it.
Well, again, he waited
that's
until
got to do with that.
Kakashi showed up to say anything about her. And you could also say, well, okay, maybe this has something to do with the fact that his mask had just fallen off, so his identity had been revealed, and maybe that's why he waited until then. But again, he singled Kakashi out. He didn't say anything to Naruto or Guy.
Yeah, he
It's
doesn't
like,
bring it up
you
at
let
all,
Rin
does he?
die, and then they started talking about it in the middle of the Kamui dimension, and Kakashi was sort of bringing it up too.
Excuse
he was
me.
like, you know, Rin isn't the most important thing, blah blah blah. And Obito had to correct him and be like, look, dude, Rin's not the only reason I started this whole war, so shut the fuck up. And, you know, he brings her up later, and he has, like, flashbacks to her and stuff. But the flashbacks are, I mean, it's like we explained, it's because he associates her with a really good point in time during his life.
Yeah, it was the nicest time of his life.
He's kind of in... He's kind
Before
of in
all the
denial
dark
to himself
times
when,
and
like, he
wanting
used
to
say
take
that
over the
Guy. I don't really
world.
believe it just because the turning point of his life was when he seen her die. That's when he just went AWOL. That's when he snapped. Yeah, I don't understand how people can give him so much shit, because it's like, another thing I want to say quickly with this whole Rin stuff is, it's like, oh my god, he started a war over a girl. It's like, not necessarily, like I just said then, it was the snapping point which what led to that, and also him just fully being on
Made him
Madara's side.
realise how bad the world
but
is.
it's also not that mind-blowing to think that, hey, this dude lost the one positive part of his life, and this led to him turning out to be such a fucked up individual. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that people can't sympathize with
Well,
that,
well,
and
here,
the same thing also applies.
here's the thing. Like, let's just draw a comparison. Everybody's like, oh shit, dude, Pain Nagato is such a good character, such a well-written character, you know. And all that happened to Nagato was like the same shit. He got
Yeah.
caught up in a war.
His
He
friend
lost his
died.
parents, and he lost his best friend Yahiko.
Yeah.
And in Yahiko's case, it wasn't even as bad because it's not like Conan murdered him right in front of him.
Yeah, it's not like his
After
friend killed him.
he
He
was
just
being
died
sort of
fighting
like,
people that
You
was,
know, he
yeah.
was sort of being like subtly, subconsciously manipulated by this old fucking, like, mad fucking, like, evil villain
Yeah,
mastermind.
Obito
or
had
anything
so
like that.
much
Like,
more
it's not
going
like
on.
What happened was, you know, like, Nagato got brought back to life or, like, fucking saved from death by Madara, told, look, you're gonna come back here, the world is shit, you're gonna help me with my plan. He was like, no, fuck you, he left, then he saw Conan kill Yahiko. Like, Yahiko just died. I mean, he is the one who stabbed him, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but, like, Obito was put in a very similar position, except it was worse. You know, he
lot
had
worse.
just been saved from near death. You know, he had just given Kakashi a Sharingan, so he had, like, finally put aside all of the animosity he had for the guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was like, no, I really gotta save them. And that's the only thing on his mind. So keep that in mind. You know, he's just like, out of the kindness of his heart, it's just this real genuine desire to protect his friends. And he gets there and he sees, like, the worst thing he
To
possibly could
possibly
have.
say, yeah, like
And that's
Kakashi is
Kakashi shoving a Raikiri
killing
through Rin's
her, yeah.
chest. It's just like, when you go there with the intent of keeping these people safe, and you just see Kakashi, like, betray all of the trust you've ever developed for him, and just be like, no,
bad.
fuck
bad.
this person,
It's bad.
you know, fuck one of the only people you ever really cared about. It's
Yeah.
just like, you know, obviously that's gonna piss you off. And I really think after that point, Obito just kind of snapped, because he had been through a lot. On the note of, like, the Nagato comparison, like, a lot of people say, you know, don't compare Obito to Nagato. Nagato had it way worse. You know,
No, he
had to
didn't.
steal food, blah, blah, blah. And like I mentioned earlier, Obito was a fucking child soldier, dude. He had to see people die around him, like, left and right every day. He probably saw a lot of his comrades die. He probably saw a lot of other people die, you know, that he'd never spoken to before from other villages. It was a generally fucked up situation. And I think when one of his best friends killed the love of his life, that's when he fucking drew the line in the sand.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, I think he sort of associates all this massive change in his life with that moment, and it's sort of a way for him to justify all the bad shit he does, because he's like, well, you know, if Rin hadn't died, then I wouldn't have to do all of this just to get back to a happy place in my life. It's the world's fault for taking her away from me and for being such a shithole that it would take her away from me. You know, that sort of thing. I think it's a lot more complicated than a lot of people give it credit for, and I will admit Kishimoto didn't do, like, the best job of communicating all this. He wrote it a little bit awkwardly, and he did sort of give Obito a bit of, like, a pedo vibe at some point.
Yeah, well, I never got that.
I've touched on already.
I never got that.
He did bring Rin up a lot more times than he needed to, but I think that this is why. This is the whole reason for that.
Well, if you want to look at this somewhat medically or, you know, psychologically to an extent, we can narrow it down to the fact that, hey, Rin is definitely the pinpoint in his life where shit hit the fan, hence why there is so much revolvement around her. We've already reiterated that point plenty of times, but, you know, it is the same deal with Sasuke. People just hate these characters for the sake of it. I don't think Obito is the best character in the world. Personality-wise, I like a lot of other characters over him, but the hate that he gets is very unjust and blatantly stupid. It just shows a lot of the ignorance from the fan base themselves. The same applies to Sasuke. It's like, hey, these guys had some pretty fucking shit upbringings. They obviously turned out the way they did for a reason, hence that is some somewhat decent writing. You know, it's not a bad thing. But the way that people undermine how bad their upbringings were to lead to the characters that they ended up being is pretty insane to me. I think the biggest issue here is actually the fan base, not the actual characters themselves. And the whole pedophile shit, just to put
so weird.
nip it in the arse, like, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's weird that people think that. I've never once.
Straight away when they were just like,
I didn't even realise people think that.
The reason why Madara is better than Obito is because he's not
Weird.
a pedophile.
That's so weird.
Also, he's so good, and Orochimaru are really good characters, and everybody everybody should love them.
That, oh my fucking lord. They are the definitions of what you consider like pedophilic natured characters.
Well,
like,
yeah, I
that's-
mean,
Orochimaru
they're,
always got that kind of
self-aware
vibe from him,
pedophiles,
yeah.
so that's like fine. I think that's fine. That adds layers to their characters. But it's like you can't be like, well, fuck them for being pedos, but then this other guy who doesn't display nearly his pedophilic tendencies, he sucks shit.
Man, Obito's over there like, hey, I missed this really nice point in my life, and Hisoka's actually slinging his bare dick in front of fucking Killer and God.
Never watched
Alright,
Hunter
well,
x
I
Hunter.
think we're pretty much covered it all. Just shout out to the morons out there who inspired this video. We needed a quick little topic to talk about, so that's all I have to say. Obito ain't that bad. Leave him the fuck alone.
Anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for today's
That was
video. Fucking check Clyde out. It makes his pussy really wet every time one of you guys subscribes to him or watches one of his videos or whatever. I mean, really, unless you have anything else to say, I think that wraps up.
Keep getting me wet like that. You need to get something for yourself too.
Thanks for watching!
So weird. I didn't realise people thought that about Obito. That is just proper blowing my mind. That is so strange. And that people think that his character isn't as developed as Nagato or has that much stuff going on is amazing. The guy went through so much. Yeah, Nagato had to like scrounge on the streets and this, that and the other. But like he didn't have to like give up part of like the one thing that he gave up like one of his Sharingan eyes, which he only just developed, which is one of the things the Uchiha like pride themselves on. He's just got it. He gets his body crushed. He gives it away to Kakashi, his best friend who he just like established with, so that he could protect Rin. And then all this shit happens to him. And then he goes out and then finds Kakashi using the one thing he gave him, and then killing the love of his life, and then being manipulated for the rest of his life to then do what? Nagato had to scrounge on the streets and then made some friends, built a little group. His friend died, gets the Rinnegan, and then goes, I'm gonna protect the world by taking over. And then controls his friend's body, which is a bit weird. Just wanted to keep him around. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what else you're watching to discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys, next time.